Enjoy this free preview from MyOutdoorTV. With the largest library of outdoor shows, we're the home of the adventurous, the champions, the legends. MyOutdoorTV. Try us free.
Every season has its peaks and valleys, both literally and figuratively. And when you sign yourself up for a fall filled with public land do-it-yourself hunts as we do, it's a recipe for a healthy serving of humility. This season was different, though. We experienced far more peaks than valleys. But success didn't come easy. The valleys we did cross were deep. We found success at moments we didn't expect, and difficulties in places that normally provide opportunities. Hunting doesn't always involve killing an animal. That's the way it's always been and always will be. There's simply too much outside of a hunter's control to expect any sort of guarantee. But when success comes, it's a reason to celebrate, give thanks, and remember that true success can only be found within the journey. I love everything about this hunt, this country, and these deer. It's absolutely incredible. The story of these deer is incredible. Some of these deer migrate astonishing distances, some up to 150 miles between their summer and winter ranges. I have been able to observe the migration on a couple of occasions. Most recently, I witnessed it last October when I was filming Chris on his October elk hunt here in western Wyoming. It was humbling to see with my own eyes. Unfortunately, many of these deer were on a one-way trip, never to return again. The winter of 2022-23 was one for the ages, and it took a massive toll on the deer that call this country home. I kept track of the mortality reports and knew it wasn't good news. But in an attempt to be optimistic, I reminded myself that I have hunted after hard winters before and had been pleasantly surprised by just how resilient these deer are. So as bad as the reports coming off the winter range were, I had to go see for myself, believing deep down that it couldn't possibly be as bad as it sounded. But after several scouting trips in the summer to areas I know to hold good numbers of bucks, it was clear to me that the severity of this winter far surpassed any of the hard winters over the last couple decades. The lack of deer was staggering. I eventually got to the point where if I did find a mature buck, I would have felt conflicted about attempting to hunt it. So I made the decision in late August to leave the deer alone and focus on elk come September 1st, which is an awesome backup plan, but there is a reason I like to hunt deer on September 1st. Besides being a passionate deer hunter, the elk rut can be real hit or miss this early in the month. And not having a lot of recent experience with elk hunting this early had me concerned about my odds of finding success. Since the elk typically aren't nearly as vocal in early September, I was going to need some luck to capitalize on any sliver of opportunity I might get, and waiting until later in the month wasn't an appealing option, because on September 1st, I'm going to be on a mountain, preferably one in western Wyoming.
The Western Hunter is presented by Browning, the best there is. Benchmade knives, the most advanced hunting knives ever. Easton Archery, made in USA since 1922. Option Archery, bringing target precision to hunting camp. Matthews Archery. Crispy Boots. And Western Hunter Magazine.
just getting light enough to see here. It's opening morning, Wyoming archery elk season, September 1st. And we've heard a couple bulls down below us. Definitely doesn't sound like anything that we're gonna drop down for right now, but now that it's getting light enough to see, we're gonna just do a little bit of glassing, because you never know. There could be a giant bull down there that's just not talking at all, or one of those bulls that's squeaking down there could be better than we think. Starting off kind of slow, but we do have awesome conditions. It's been hot and sunny the last 5 days I've scouted, and now we've got some cloud cover. There's a chance of rain the next few days. It's really pretty ideal conditions. It's gonna be nice and cool. So just because it's starting off slow, I still feel pretty optimistic. So we're just gonna keep listening, keep looking, and hope that something piques our interest here after a little while.
This segment was presented by Outdoorsman's Tripods. Visit outdoorsmans.com to build your tripod today.
Well, I just spotted 3 bulls over here across from us. I can see one is definitely like he's like a raghorn 5-point type bull. This country's pretty thick. It's the same place I hunted last year, where I called in a bull actually down here on this flat below us on this bench. But it was much later in September. We were here last year, the middle of September. So in my opinion, just perfect for elk rut. This year, we're here a lot earlier, so I don't expect near as much bugling, but I do still expect that we should have a chance to call some elk in. But fortunately, there is just enough openings in this country that if they're not talking at all, you still have an opportunity to spot them and try to make a play that way. But so these bulls over here being totally quiet, my guess is it's probably 3 younger bulls together, but I'm gonna make sure before I move on and look at other country, I'd make sure that none of them are nice 6 points, because that's at least at this point in the hunt, that's definitely what we're going to be looking for, is a mature 6 point. Well, we still have not seen a mature bull down there, but I did just hear a bugle that sounded like a herd bull. Like it was a real bugle, real throaty, raspy. Doesn't mean it's a nice bull, but it's encouraging. So because it's still nice and cool, it's 7:30 in the morning, I still think there's a good chance that they'll show themselves and we can get eyes on that bull. I'd like to confirm what type of bull it is before we go down there and burn the rest of the morning, and burn up some energy and time on a bull that I'm not interested in. So I think we'll just sit up here, watch, hopefully get eyes on them. But if we give it an hour and haven't seen them and we feel like they're bedded down there, we'll probably just go down there and roll the dice, see if we can't get close enough, do some calling and stir them up a little bit, and try to create an opportunity. But at least first, I'd like to try to get eyes on them. It could be a nice bull, definitely.
The Western Hunter is presented by Swarovski Optic, see the unseen. Wilderness Athlete, fuel for the rugged. Outdoorsman's Packs and Tripods. On X Hunt, know where you stand. Tally, the world's finest optics mounting system, and Browning ammunition.
Luke and I have been sitting up here above these elk all morning, and we watched the cows feed back through a little opening down there. And we've never seen the bull, the one that has a nice bugle anyway. So still haven't seen him, not sure what he is, but he sounds like he's got potential, and we're pretty confident that they're bedded down here around where there's a couple little aspen pockets. So we're gonna work down the ridge to a place where we can get down into the timber. And we're gonna just slowly work our way, try to get 150 yards maybe from where we think they're bedded, and just start, with some real light calling and see if we can't get that bull interested to come over and check us out. That's the game plan. Working our way down. We're still probably 700 yards from the elk. We're about 500 yards from where I wanted to set up and call. And we were just working down slowly. Just spotted a bull bedded over here about 150 yards away, and it looks like a decent bull. Hopefully he'll move around enough that I can get a look at him. All right, I'm pretty jacked. I just set up my spotting scope. It's a big bull. I mean, relative to where we are, like it's a big 6-point bull for general season. He's only 103 yards, way closer than I thought. This big dead stump right in line with him is like 70 yards from us, so he's like 30 yards from that. It's very tempting just to try to stalk up to there. Yeah, let's do it.
This segment is presented by Benchmade Hunt, the most advanced hunting knives ever.
Stalk him. Luke's gonna stay back here and just film straight through that shooting lane. I feel like it's just too good of an opportunity to stalk. We have just enough wind for sound cover and a little bit of movement cover, but it's not too much wind. A 40-yard shot should be no problem. 5 minutes later, I had not made it that far. I hadn't even started dropping elevation. And I did see him get up. But I thought, his sun just started poking out. He's probably just going to get up because he looked uncomfortable the way he was laying. I thought he's probably just going to get up and rebed. And then I saw his legs coming through the trees and thought, geez, he's actually coming down where I might have a shooting lane. So I got on one knee to where I felt a little more stable. I had a perfectly broadside shot. It went in high. I mean, I've killed bulls hitting at that same height on level ground, so I feel like shooting down with that same impact point, I feel pretty good about it, but I don't feel awesome. If my shot could have been 4 inches lower, I'd be punching my tag right now. I want to pull a quick weather update on my inReach here because I can see rain. It doesn't look like a big wall of it, but it's going to rain, and obviously that is not what you want when you're going to be blood trailing, so it's 1:20 right now, so I was hoping to wait another 40 minutes. I'm going to pull a forecast. We might end up tracking this bull a little faster because I do not want this rain to wash away that blood trail. Stopped right here. He didn't go anywhere. We're 100 yards from where I hit him. Obviously, it was 2 lungs. That's pretty much the only thing that'll kill an elk that fast. And we heard this crash. I mean, he wasn't alive for, he couldn't have been alive for 20 seconds maximum, didn't go 100 yards. September 1st, opening day, and great bull. Pretty awesome way to kick off September. I can't hardly believe it. And I was really thinking, I was trying not to be pessimistic, but this was supposed to be a deer hunt. Luke and I had planned on deer hunting. That's what I always have doing September 1st, but I knew a lot of them died on the winter range, but I just had to come see for myself. I spent a bunch of time scouting down here in July and August, and I have not seen a shooter buck. It's sad, but they're just, they're not here. So we shifted gears and decided it'd probably be better to hunt elk on September 1st, which I haven't done in a long time. I don't know if I've ever hunted elk on September 1st in Wyoming. Awesome way to start this September. There's no doubt about that. And the other thing that is just a huge bonus is where I killed my elk last year, can't be 300 yards from here. I already have the track saved from last year on my phone on Onyx, and so that's a huge stress relief, just knowing I know for sure it's not going to be an issue getting my pack animals in here to get this meat out. This meat should be incredible. The bull died fast. We're going to get him cooled out quickly, hanging in the shade. This is just incredible.
I killed my first bull elk with a bow when I was 12 years old. I'm 42 now, and I've been fortunate to have hunted elk every year in between. Yet to this day, I still have a brief moment of panic that washes over me when I stand next to one on the ground. The amount of meat on a mature bull elk is incredible, and it's intimidating, especially when it's my responsibility to haul it off a mountain. and I hope that feeling never fades away. This year marked the first time in 13 years that I wasn't hunting for deer on the Wyoming archery opener, and I'm not sure how many more years may pass before I decide to give it another try. Nearly 2/3 of the deer that call this country home died during the devastating winter of 2022-23. But there is good news. The following winter was fairly mild, and recent research is showing that the deer that are still on the landscape have record levels of body fat, which is exactly what they need to be able to have healthy fawns. It's a big step in the right direction, but it's going to take some time, and the thing about time is, no one knows what it has in store. But I am optimistic about the future, and more than anything, I'm incredibly thankful for today.